have to say I'm glad that the win that I had within the 100 this World Championship actually brought unity. I remember when I lost to these beautiful women, you know, it was more so this country is better than this country, but now all of a sudden I won, it's all about unity and sisterhood. So I'm glad that I can be that glue that brings us together and not divide us anymore.
We have plenty of Black American track superstars that have been going on since the 40s, 50s, 60s. So back to Jesse Owens, back to Michael Johnson. I mean, we got plenty of them. FloJo, like how we just mentioned. So I don't know if it's necessarily black. I don't know if that's the time to bring up a race thing. I mean, it's the World Olympics. I mean, this is it's a country by country. You know the rules and regulations. We can't have the winner of the gold medal with some dirty pee. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. Okay, so now we got the information. What do you want to shout her out for?
I want to shout her out because remember prior to that, you know,
explanation.
All right, so from my point of view, right, you go back like a few, I want to say years. Yeah, about a few years ago.
A couple years ago.
Remember she
right around the Donda time, because I remember she got a Kanye commercial, a Nike commercial.
She definitely did. She came out. She was doing well for a second, and then she was like on Twitter, all this and that, and then everybody kind of hated on her. She smoked weed. She couldn't run. There was a bunch of
hated on her.
There was a little hate.
I'll give you.
There was a little, from my point of view, from when I was looking at it, was a little hate, man. Just kind of like
let you give your breakdown.
You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like not necessarily bullying her, but you know, just kind of like shitting on her a little bit, right?
Okay.
And then you know, it's been a while, and then finally she comes back and she shows that she put the work in, and then she come and get a gold. You know, I thought she was over. I thought I was never gonna see with her. I thought she was just a quick little highlight. She did well for a moment, and then that was it.
Why did you think that?
Oh, because we didn't hear from her again. But then again, I don't watch track like that either, so I don't know how often they run. And I saw that she was losing for a while, and so I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's it. And now you know this shit was back again. And then I saw that she won.
World Championship,
yeah. I was like, okay, that's good to hear. It's good to hear. Just to show you know, putting that time in, putting that effort in. You know, don't let the naysayers bring you down too long.
I guess that's the breakdown. Yeah, it sounds like you don't really keep up with the
track. I don't keep up with the track shit, man. I watch it every
day. The greatest
minute.
Congratulations.
It wasn't. I look at it just from just like an overall, like, all right, let me see what's going
on.
Yeah, very casual. Okay. I just want to see what was going on. It's like, oh, all right, that's cool.
Yeah. So from my recollection, I'm not saying incorrect, but that's one perspective.
Okay.
She made her name. A lot of her was due to her image and her being fast. So the whole FloJo, a lot of old nails. You know what I mean, she wearing wigs. She's a big flamboyant personality. She won, cool. But then, I mean, it's hard to be a superstar overnight. It's very difficult, as we learned with another track gentleman. We're gonna get to him in a minute.
Oh, that's important.
But she was not open to criticism. She got caught with dirty. You know what I mean? Dirty urine sample because she was smoking weed.
She was smoking a little bit of weed, man. Everybody smoked weed.
That's the time she decided to claim racial bias and racial prejudice in how you qualify versus how you are disqualified for stuff. So that's when she went on her villain arc against the media.
Wasn't the girl from Russia or something?
Overall, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I believe the girl was like from Russia or something that they let slide or something.
I mean, if you feel you throw that information out, you gotta throw some type of facts behind it.
But I believe so.
What I do know, she started to vilify the media because people wanted to hold her accountable for her actions, and she claimed racial bias and why can't I do this? It's always the black person. To your point, now she completely has been ignoring what's to her best effort, all white media staff. Now, to me, that doesn't make a lot of sense because media is media regardless if it's black or white.
Correct.
I mean, because if that's the case, Stephen A. Smith has been facing criticism from some of our beloved stars for years. For years. So that's a little backwards to me. So I'm not necessarily sure if it's a black or white thing, and I think that's why she got a lot of the criticism that she did get. Because it's one thing for people to say things about you, it's another thing for you to take it personally or use it and apply it to be better in whatever way you perceive as being better, you know what I mean? So the other track girls, the history, veterans, legends, a lot of gold medals tried reaching out to her. She said, hey, you're doing this publicly. If you didn't do it to me personally, all the love is fake, all that shit. So she started just attacking everybody. Go ahead.
And I was correct. She was like, news broke after a Russian Olympian was being allowed to compete despite testing positive for a banned substance.
What was the banned substance?
Just said banned substance right here.
Okay, Richardson, who was unable to compete after testing positive for marijuana, took to Twitter. Can we get solid answer on the difference between her situation and mine? My mother died and I can't run, and I was also favored to place top 3. The only difference is I'm a black young lady. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, I would have to look into it.
What that banned substance was.
Yeah, what that banned substance was.
She's like tested positive for methazidine.
Okay, a banned substance
used for heart complications. It's believed to increase stamina and make it a performance-enhancing drug.
In Richardson's case, marijuana is considered substance abuse by IOC,
which is right here, which is the International Olympic Committee.
Okay. So one is literally specific to the Olympics.
It's a substance abuse, and then one of them is considered a performance-enhancing drug.
However, Valea is under 16 years old and is considered a protected person by the World Anti-Doping Agency. Her case was given special consideration as the Court of Arbitration for Sports decided that keeping her from competing
could cause her irreparable harm.
Whew.
I mean, listen, I don't. In a case like this, I'm on Sha'Carri's side.
Richardson was not the only figure to question this decision.
I'm on a. Somebody says another chapter in the systematic, pervasive disregard for a clean sport by Russia.
I mean,
listen, I'm a little bit on her side because one of them say substance abuse, but we know that this one was clearly a performance-enhancing drug.
It was clearly a performance.
It says right here, making
it listed.
Okay, I'm sorry, it's listed. I'm sorry, but it's listed as a performance-enhancing drug.
Right. And one is a banned substance.
It's a substance. It's considered a substance abuse.
One is considered a substance abuse. Okay.
Yeah. So to me, it's either it's kind of black and white right here. It's either banned substance or it's not. And
I mean, if it's already listed as you can't smoke marijuana by the IOC, then you can't smoke marijuana by the IOC.
Yeah, no, I agree, but this one too is called it's a banned substance.
Okay,
but yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. It's black and white. If they're both banned substances,
but it's also two different bodies that are making a decision, right?
Yeah, it is. But I mean,
and even if they both was wrong,
hey, just because you did it don't mean
that's what I'm saying. Just because they got away with it don't mean you will.
Yeah, that happens every time.
So it's kind of the point here. A lot of people was turned off by her attitude. I mean, you can make it a black and white thing. That's fine, and there may be some truth to it. But at the end of the day, if you knew you had to take a drug test, and you knew what this could result in.
Here's I agree with that part. I feel that she could have handled it a little bit better because, like, as she stated, that her mother did pass, and that was her way of coping with it. Cool. Mm-hmm. But you also know the consequences of your actions.
Yeah.
And so now you know what you have to deal with. I can't continue to blame somebody else for something that I chose to do. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I can't tell somebody how to grieve, can't tell somebody how to cope with something, you know, losing a parent, whatever. But you know what you're doing.
Right.
You decide to sit there, you roll up, smoke weed.
Right.
So with that being said, sometimes you gotta take someone on the chin, pause, and then really just just roll with it. Cause so I mean I agree and I disagree. I don't agree with her actions of how she handled it. I kind of see what she was saying, but you can't really say it out loud.
I mean, I just think it's a matter of, at the end of the day, bro, are you blaming somebody or are you just going to take accountability? You know what I mean?
I agree.
Because you can't throw in, hey, my mom just died. And that's if that's your reason, that's fine. Yeah. But just accept the results of what it is. Yeah. Don't bring in somebody else's situation and then bring up, oh, it's because I'm black.
Yeah, nah, just hit him with hey, yo, my mom just died. This is how I was coping with it. This is why I smoked weed.
Yeah.
Then cool, you leave it at that. And then hit him with all right, I did that, but by the way, such and such did such and such, and I ain't gonna say nothing to her. Like, oh, that's not where we at right now. We talking about you.
I mean, because at the end of the day, man, we have plenty of Black American track superstars that have been going on since the 40s, 50s, 60s. So back to Jesse Owens, back to Michael Johnson. I mean, we got plenty of them. FloJo, like how we just mentioned. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's necessarily black. I don't know if that's the time to bring up a race thing. It's the World Olympics. I mean, this is it's a country by country. You know the rules and regulations. We can't have the winner of the gold medal with some dirty P. You know what I'm saying?